Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Happy Today morning reflections, morning motivation. Sometimes it feels like morning ramblings, right? So, um, but I started a minute or so early. Maybe I just wanted to get started. The conversation that I had on Tuesday about weight, right? Weight is an action, right? So there is an energy in our waiting. And so I decided I can put the energy into waiting one more minute to start, or just use the energy that I have to start a minute. And so that's the lesson for today. This was a 3 card day. So I picked the U cards that are available at IamWilliamBrown.com, the store. Intention setting cards and level setting cards, and looking at our day. So I am heard. I don't know if you can see that. I am heard. So we can reflect on that. You are enough. You are enough. And be you, the world will adjust. Now, as I invite myself within the U journal, is to kind of just take those cards in and just see, good morning, um, Trevor Worthy. Good to have you with me today. It's kind of interesting because the topic that I'm going to talk about today, I think you would find interesting, or you would have some commentary for. So it's great that you're here. I don't know how long you're here, but it's good that you're here. The So when I sat with these 3 cards today, the first thing was, I am heard, and it's like I was shaking my head because it was like what I'm feeling right now, what I want to say. I don't think you want to hear that. I don't think you want to hear that. There's a level of frustration. There's a level of disappointment that I feel like I want to get out, and I just, I think it's the nice guy label that wants me uh, to kind of clean it up before it's out. So that was an interesting thing. Um, uh, that you are enough. That's come up a couple times this week. So I'm working on a couple things. And it's kind of funny because I'm getting even tired of saying I'm working on things. I'm finishing things. I need to change my language to I'm finishing. This is what I'm finishing. Because the more that I change my language to this is what I'm finishing, this is things will get finished instead of things are constantly being worked on. So that's a little hack that I'll give myself for today. The other thing is be you, the world will adjust. Be you, the world will adjust. And I think it's that adjustment, the fact that I'm going to a holistic chiropractor, and I'm getting these adjustments done, and so there's feeling, I feel better, in my body, but there's still some pain, type of thing. And the process of being ourselves, um, and allowing our world, the world, to adjust around us, not in an arrogant way, but there is that flexibility with the flow of life. I love how, I'm a water sign, so they're just looking at water and seeing how once water gets moving, it just goes. And if you kind of get in its way, you know, goes to the mountains, right? It goes around, it goes around, or all that kind of stuff. So it is, and it carves out, different things. And so I'm going to take on making adjustments in my world. Yeah, not me making adjustments, are adjustments happening in my world. So interesting. So the word of the day on One Word Conversations at 11 that I want to interject in is functional. And the most of the times that that word has come up for me, it's kind of interesting because I'm not much of a drinker, but I have a lot of dear friends that are recovering alcoholics. And so there's a point of recognition. There was, I grew up with an alcoholic in the house. And the so the first way that it showed up was a functioning alcoholic, right? So how I can do something, and this is how it's been shown up for me. How I can do something that is not good for me, that is not beneficial to me, to a point but I can still function. And to the outside world and to myself, I can convince myself that I am still functioning. I am still functional, even though I can see that there are activities and things that I'm doing that are not beneficial towards me. And so I've just been sitting with that. It's like, what in my life am I just being functional? And it's kind of really frustrating because to go after the question, the comment, the card, the you are card of you are enough, right? There's a large part of my existence, the way I was showing up, that I felt I only wanted enough. I didn't want too much. I wanted mine. I wanted enough. And I think I'm going to say the negative side or the less than side. I don't know what the word is. But of enough is just it's survival, right? I got enough, and that's just it. And I don't want to live a life of survival anymore. So it is really recognizing that, hey, enough isn't good enough. But enough isn't good enough. But at the same time, enough is enough. Sit with that, right? so, so yeah. So it is. So where am I being functional? Where am I just being enough? Where am I just letting people know that I am barely getting by? And it's just not good enough anymore. It's just not good enough. So, yeah. So the other thing that has been showing up for me, mainly because of this election season and just the way the world is showing up for me, is I've asked the question a number of times about is there a difference between telling the truth and telling I'm sorry, stop it. Not telling the truth. Is there a difference between not telling the truth and telling a lie? Is there a difference between not telling the truth and telling a lie? Um, and the reason why it's coming up, um, for me is I don't know if it's the thousands and hundreds of thousands of ads, um, political ads, and just you kind of listen to them, and it's just like, that's just not the truth, that is just so not the truth. And if they believe that that's the truth, it is, they must think we're stupid, right? So, um, I believe if I believe that someone is lying, it's a judgment because there is someone, what I am saying, is that I believe that they know what the truth is, but they're not saying that, they're telling me something else. So I am making a judgment about what they know. Um, so I think there's more of us that are not telling the truth. Um, I was I had a conversation the other day where I said this, and I'm embracing this for myself, is that if I'm not telling the truth to other people, if I'm not telling the truth to other people, it means that I've already made it a habit of not telling the truth to myself. So the more that um, I, I believe I cannot tell other people a lie or not the truth before I don't tell myself the truth. Hopefully, look, this is morning, right? So hopefully you could follow that. And so I'm just looking at, and the other thing is that, look, if I want to live an authentic life, if I want to live my authentic self, I can't have, I can't expend energy, or I choose not to expend energy of keeping up with the lies that I'm selling, right? So it's like I have to. The terrible thing about the lies or not telling the truth, in some cases, you have to remember what you're saying, the story, the narrative, type of thing, and being committed to that. And so I think being functional, and the word that I'm going to be talking about today on One Word Conversation, I think we get into this functional mode because we have decided um, that there's elements of the truth, or that we're unaware of, or that we have accepted, um, um, of not knowing as our reality. And I think so. That's my desire. I was talking to someone yesterday, on a networking call, and I made a statement that there is one truth, and there are a number of things that are true to me. So, on my journey of understanding or appreciating or getting the truth, there are things that are true to me. And there's something that is true to me today that may not be true to me tomorrow. And I'm okay with that. You know, um, and I said, well, if we're not, and what I said, if it's like, um, if I'm not telling the truth, it's a lie. And I saw, like, in his body, that, wait a minute, um, that's I don't agree with that. And I was like, look, that's fine. It's like, um, I don't think my mom ever said it, but I heard it when I was growing up. You know how when you're not eating your food, in order for us to eat our food, we were told that, hey, there are starving people in Africa, starving kids in Africa. You need to eat your food, or something like that. And it's like, that's the truth, but it had nothing to do with the lima beans that I don't like. Nothing. You're not going to send these half-eaten lima beans to Africa to kind of make up the difference. And I think too often we conflate. I think that's the word. Meat. This week there's been a lot of 25-cent words that have been coming up that, um, and it reminds me of, In Living Color, where there was this person that would say all these big words inappropriately or not in right context and all that kind of stuff. He thought he was sounding smart, but he was really sounding stupid. And there's some cases, even though I consider myself an intelligent person, because of some ways that I pronounce things or the ways that things come to me, I am fearful of mispronouncing a word. And I will mispronounce a word, but also say a word correctly, if that makes sense. So I will say the word that I'm not meaning to say, and then it changes the contents of what I'm trying to say. So in some cases, I try not to say big words, so, or, words, so I don't get confused by it. But yeah, I think more often um, this causation effect, we overinflate that. We kind of make it seem like this is because of that. And it's because if someone says, especially in our politics, if I say, hey, this doesn't matter, it means that, I am endorsing something else, that you hate or something like that. And so that means that I am this supporter or I am just a horrible person. And it's just like, really? Is that where we're going? Because we know that that's not the truth. And I've mentioned before that the biggest challenge that I have about this election that will be over next Tuesday, that it won't be over. Not because it's been put in the universe that somebody is not going to accept the outcome and you're going to have to drag them out, or are the other cases. I think we have convinced ourselves so much that our way of thinking, our way of being, our truth is the only thing that you'll accept. And so the fact that I can imagine Trump winning and I can imagine Biden winning. The fact that there are more people in our society, in my opinion, that cannot imagine Trump getting reelected. There are some people in our society who cannot imagine Biden winning. So that's where the trauma is going to happen. Because your refusal of accepting or even looking at that reality, I think we're lying to ourselves. If we can't even get there. And so because of that, we will create more trauma, not just for ourselves, but for other people, because of our inability to accept an alternative reality than what we want. Someone said to me the other day, I can't remember, and I feel, because I want to accredit them, right? I want to give them credit for it. But they said the one thing that they have learned from 2020, this year, is that they have finally gotten okay with things not going their way. And it's like, wow, that's, it's like, that's the biggest lesson that they got, is that I can plan my shit, I can overwork, I can do all that kind of stuff, and it still not go my way. 2020. Got it. That's the big lesson, right? And that's an important lesson. That is an important lesson. Am I really okay with, and I think that's why I was upset on Monday. I don't know if anyone has watched the Monday show, but I was upset on Monday because I'm doing all this treatment, I'm doing my affirmations, and then I'm still having this pain. And it's like, shit, I'm doing mostly everything that I feel that I need to be doing, but I'm still in pain. It's still not going my way, and I'm pissed off about it. And the more that I have the ability and the awareness to accept the reality that I can do everything that I believe um, that I need to do, and it still not go the way I want. And it's okay. Life is still life is still good. Life is still happy. Um, so it's really, you know, the card that I pick of, be you and the world will adjust. And it's like the reason why um, sometimes I have a hard time really walking into that is because I'm not willing to adjust. I'm not willing to live beyond my labels or whatever label that's showing up to be myself. The more that I adjust to myself and be willing to not stay in the label, a way of being, um, then I can make the movements. I can make the movements because the only way, um, I've shared I think I need to repost this. There's a quote that uh, the only way that you can be seen and heard, truly seen and heard, is by being yourself. It's the only way. Other than that, you're just, a copy. You're another label. I'm just another black guy. I'm just another, I'm just another, 53-year-old. I'm all the other labels. I can be put in all that other kind of those categories. But when I'm myself, there's nobody else. That's just like, oh crap, William is speaking. I wonder if you have those moments where there's a clear understanding who's speaking right now, who is listening, who's involved. And I think there are some moments where, yeah, all right, that's, I showed up there. And there's like this sense of pride for me. But yeah. So the three cards that I picked. So you are enough, I am heard, and be you, the world will adjust. Those are the cards that we're sitting with this morning and throughout the day. I think I can live up to those, even though I feel that there is this passion um, that I don't know how it's going to show up, and sometimes I might think it would be a little more aggressive than the nice guy label would like me to be, but that's just going to show up because people are going to hear it. What I got from last Saturday's conversation about passionate is that um, everything that I think about and overthink about, um, it's not coming from my head, it's coming from my heart. Because I'm passionate about it. That's why I take time to think about it. That's why I try to make it good. That's why I want it to be right. Um, my challenge is releasing that instead of letting it stay in my head, moving it from my head to my body, to my actions, right? So it starts in my heart, gets to my mind. I need to give it to my hand so it stays in action. And then it can move from passion to compassion because I'm bringing other people. I'm compassionate with it. So there's some things that are going to show up today. I'm sure there's going to be some writings today that I'm going to have to share my passion, so I can be compassionate. Um, yeah, the functional, and to go from there. So, and I think the one thing about, and I will end with this on the lie and not telling the truth type of thing. I believe, and, that information, not just information is key right now, but I think our understanding, our discernment of information is so important right now because um, there is life and death decisions. We've always had life and death decisions, but I don't think we were aware that they were life and death decisions for the most part. So that's why I believe our understanding, our discernment of information is so important. And the fact that it feels like for me, um, we don't know the difference. We don't have a clear understanding of a lie and not being told the truth. Um, and so we kind of pass it off. We give our sovereignty away. That was a good conversation. So that conversation yesterday, um, um, if we give it away to other people. So the more that you can find what's true to you, so then you can make the adjustments. Then the world will adjust. Then you'll be heard. Then you can be yourself. All of those things. So as this day continues, it is my prayer. It is my prayer that we discover what's true to us. What's true to us. So we can truly be ourselves. So we can be heard. So we can be seen. So we can make the adjustments in our world because we are being ourselves. So we don't just accept functional or surviving, that we really embrace thriving, that we wholeheartedly be ourselves so the world can truly hear us, truly see us, and that we can really be there for ourselves. In order for the world to hear us, we have to hear ourselves, right? In order for the world to see us, we have to be willing to see ourselves. That's where we can really embrace that we are enough. We are enough to really make the difference in the world. So we can have a happy today. As I embrace or acknowledge the disappointments and fear of my past and the anxiety of my future, I bring them together in the presence and invite you to have a happy today. Blessings, my friend.